Welcome to California's Sonoma, a picturesque region renowned for its world-class wines and stunning natural beauty. But there is even more to Sonoma. Nestled among its undulating hills sits the world-renowned Sonoma Raceway, which hosts the 5th round of the 2024 Ferrari Challenge season. The circuit, with its sweeping curves and vast elevation changes, offers a thrilling spectacle for drivers and fans alike. As the engines echo through the hills, anticipation builds for an electrifying Ferrari Challenge weekend, highlighting the capabilities of these awesome cars and the passion and determination of the drivers behind the wheel. Ferrari Challenge 488 here at Sonoma Raceway for round 5 of our 2024 calendar. The mix of Pirelli and Shell drivers in the 488 Challenge Evo cars out on track for their final race of the weekend. It has been a huge calendar this year, and the 488s have done sterling service. And here we are then, Sonoma Raceway. We move from here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the middle of September before the Finale Mondiale event in Imola. So the drivers here, as I say, a mix of Pirelli and Shell drivers that will take to this track here at Sonoma Raceway, one of the most beautifully located racing circuits anywhere in the world, I have to say, with the rolling hills behind it. Is an extraordinary place, and as the track unwinds through those hills, some 12 turns which really test our Ferrari Challenge drivers. Overtaking here is something of a premium, it has to be said, but certainly not impossible, and we've seen some brilliant overtakes over the course of our race weekend this weekend. Weather conditions set fair and perfect for racing today. Track temperature is 42 degrees. The air temperature is 29 degrees. The wind has picked up a little bit, 22 kilometers per hour of wind. Not imagining it's going to impact or affect the drivers out there for their final race of the weekend. And alongside me is JB. And, sorry for the laughter there. We were talking about why the JB and how it can be confusing, of course.
You're just thinking I'm Jensen Button, and as I said, I'd be on my own jet if I was. Anyway, yes, everybody, welcome to the second race here. It's definitely one I'm looking forward to. There's a couple of guys I got my eyes on. We're looking at one right now, Titus Sherlock. He did a great qualifying lap, super close behind Massimo Perina, and I'm looking forward to this race. I think it's going to get very, very spicy.
Well, adding to the spice of our presentation, as always, is Amanda Busick.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I'm standing right in between those two that you were just talking about. I'm expecting some fun out of these guys as we get the last race of the Ferrari Challenge 8 in competition here at Sonoma Raceway. There will be 2 races left for this platform. One of my favorite stories, though, is Matthew Dalton qualifying in Jason McCarthy's car, taking the pole in that class. I will stress there was an incident between him and Gertis Mislavis yesterday. Race control is expecting a clean race out of those 2 drivers today. So, without further ado, drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
Oh, and they do. Exactly as expected and demanded of them. Now, Titus Sherlock making his debut in the Ferrari Challenge yesterday, to the best of my knowledge. He looked very promising, took a P3, Justin, but today in qualifying, he threw it to Massimo Perina in terms of who was going to take that pole position, and Massimo felt he'd got it banked. Had eased off, didn't think he'd got to do another lap, and all of a sudden Titus had put in a lap which usurped Massimo, and he did have to go. To be fair, he gained it again, but he had to go and do it again.
As his dad said, I'm smart enough to know not to be on the headset to my son during a race. He said, much as I want to, he said, but the driver coach was like, you better go again. And in fair credit, while that sounds an easy order, it's not. An instruction, I'll just go and do the faster lap than you've done before. That's not how it works. No. But the young lad was able to pull it out and really extend the gap. So I was very impressed with both of them.
Okay, 488 Challenge then. Pirelli drivers, Shell drivers, and the race is about to get underway. We will, of course, bring you the grid in full of all the runners and riders in this Ferrari Challenge 488 race. The 488 has been such a magnificent car, and it continues to race in the 2024 calendar. Massimo Perina, Titus Sherlock are on row 1. Gray Falva, good quali from Gray. Logan Broughton is alongside P3 and P4. Eric Pan and Michael Porter go from P5 and P6. Now, the best of the Shell drivers, Matt Dalton, Enoch Hurd is alongside, and it's Gerda Svenslovas and Brad Evans going from P9 and P10. Row 6 sees Stephen Chen and Kevin Orsini, and then as we go to row 7, Dag Magnazuski and Henry Hummel, they go from P13 and 14. Ed Vortigyan and Michael Merrithew are P15 and 16, with Jeffrey Keel going from P17. Those are our 488 drivers. Pirelli drivers got a red strip across the top of the windscreen. Shell drivers with a yellow strip across the top of the windscreen. If Titus Sherlock has any opportunity to get by Massimo Perina, surely Justin is right at the start of the race. That's when he's got to do it.
Yes, well, what we will be looking out for is to see how Titus, if he was able to observe the way Massimo did his start yesterday, which was basically just rocketing off from the start. A very fine line between the officials, the stewards, booking you for basically jumping the start, because they do get penalties for that in this series, but he obviously timed it right on the edge of that. But young Sherlock will not want to let that happen, so we're going to see a little bit of a sporty start, but I don't blame Massimo for trying to press the advantage, because it does make that first couple of corners a little cleaner.
Yes.
And but as they're coming down the hill behind the safety car, the pace car, they're starting to form up already, and I love this. Two young guys at the front, ready to do battle. They're jostling for positions, very psychological right now, just as you're diving in and out. It's a game, it's a dance. It's rather like in the weigh-in for boxing, when they get in each other's faces and they're right up against it. I don't know how they don't laugh at each other sometimes, but that is what happens, and that's what drivers do as they make their way side by side. Rolling start here in Ferrari Challenge. The pace car peels off, and Dave, we should be set for a great start.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Massimo Perina then has got the pole position, but Titus Sherlock really took it to him in qualifying. It's the most closest it's been in qualifying in the 488 Challenge for some time. Right, let's throw two pictures to the screen so you can see the start perfectly. Now, Massimo Perina has done a very good job of nailing the start every single time, but Titus Sherlock is going to go for it this time around, and the flags go green, and I have to say, Titus Sherlock, I said, is he going to be right at the start of the race? He's certainly got his nose in front. Is he going to be able to hold on to this? Massimo Perina down to P2.
That was a very brave
contact, and I think it was either Logan Broughton or Gray Falva that got into the side of Massimo Perina, so all of a sudden the changes to the face of this race at the very, very start. Now, all the drivers have been able to get going again, but the remarkable run of success that Massimo Perina has had has gone south.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. He was totally entitled to close the door going up through turn 2 there. That is part of what he had to do, but right now young Titus is out the front. He's going to, he's not worried. It wasn't anything to do with him. He's just going to press home his advantage and try and gap the competition. But, Massimo Perina, he has the pace. Now, are we going to see a spectacular race as he makes his way forward, providing there's no damage on that car?
Well, only time will tell. So there is our current race leader, and that is Titus Sherlock for Wide World Ferrari then. He probably knew that the place that he was going to have to do it and assert his authority and his determination was going to be right at the start of the race.
It was
Let's take a look at a
start.
replay of this start. So talk us through this, Justin.
Well, you can see he did exactly predict the start better. He's out wide, kept a wide line, very fair, but he did have the advantage, which this is the moment it all went wrong as Greg went up the inside and literally tagged Perina on the inside and just spun him round. Very, very unfortunate. No damage to those cars, it doesn't appear, other than doing a little bit of off-roading. So let's just see how they're able to pick up the pace. Shouldn't have done too much damage.
I think it was Logan Broughton.
Oh, was it? Okay, sorry.
I'm sure it was Logan Broughton, and when I called it live, I was unsure because Gray Falva should have been in that position, but I think it was Logan Broughton. We'll try and get confirmation of that. But in the meantime, Massimo Perina
He's wasting no time.
He has got to do some overtaking, and that's precisely what he is doing. He is going to cut through this pack like a knife through butter. The order is Titus Sherlock, then it's Gray Falva, then it's Michael Porter, then it's Eric Pan. It's Enoch Hurd, Gerda Sven Slovas, they are P1 and P2. And so Matt Dalton being caught out in that as well, you see. So that's dropped him down the order. So there is Massimo Perina then, who's got the bit between his teeth right now. And Matt Dalton, of course, who is a Ferrari of Long Island driver, and of course having to really work hard in a car which is not his. However, I was going to say, does the familiarity make a difference? It certainly didn't make a difference in qualifying, Justin.
No, it didn't. We're everyone looking up there at the timing and scoring, watching their cars out there. Remember, those couple of first corners are off camber, as you already described in your intro on the track map. That means while you get on the inside, the guy on the outside is very compromised. So look at this as we come down into turn 11 there. We're starting to see, people measuring each other up already. That wide line was good in the wet, not so good in the dry.
This is Gerda Sven Slovas going for the lead in the shell race in the 488 Challenge. Enoch Hurd leading at the moment, but Gerda Sven Slovas is right with him, and Gerdas has just set the fastest lap. The gap between them is less than 3/10, and you can almost see that in the pictures. So Enoch Hurd then and Gerda Sven Slovas climb up the hill right now. Meantime, it's Titus Sherlock, Gray Falva, Michael Porter, then the top three. And there you can see the 376 car confirming it was Logan Broughton.
Okay, yeah, well called.
He's going to be back out again, but of course, you can already see Massimo Perina. You can just see him on the back of this, but there he is. Yeah. So he is, up against the car that's being driven, the Jason McCarthy car that he's going to try and go past now.
He's motivated. I will see that. You can see the way he's doing. Decisive, aggressive, leaving no doubt about the fact that I'm coming by.
This is Gerda Sven Slovas for the lead almost as they get side by side here through the S's.
Ooh.
And look, Massimo Perina is trying to split them at the same time. Massimo Perina having to come back, having been turned around. And he's got Gerda Sven Slovas well within his target size, but they're in their own battle.
Patience, young lad. Otherwise, you don't want to have another incident right now. You are going to go by, but he's going to dive bomb him under braking and should make the move. That's it. No doubts about it.
Yes, he absolutely did that. That was a textbook of how you can make it work.
Looks pretty easy when you get it right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's making short order of. He'll make short order of Hurd as well. He's flashing his lights. Very difficult to let a guy by here, but without compromising. Remember, he can't do it because he's got Venslovas right behind, so he can't be too generous. But look at that nice inside line. Yes, Massimo is on the move.
Already he's back up to P5 in the Pirelli race.
Oh, nicely done. He just launched himself down the inside there.
Now that plays into the hands a little bit of Gerda Sven Slovas. He was almost able to take advantage of that.
But it was funny because Hurd closed the door on him, which was exactly what he needed to do. But it just made him very vulnerable right there. Okay, as they make their way, see, I mean, literally, Massimo Perina using all the track there, kicking up dirt on the outside. This is a nice move. This is Venslovas going down the inside. Very nice. I mean, that was a well-completed move.
Yes, he's done that, and he now picks up the lead of the Ferrari Challenge 488 Shell race. Gerda Sven Slovas then, P1. And that was not where I was expecting to see an overtake.
No, I wasn't either. But look at him take off. He's taking off like someone just told him there was free donuts at the end of this race. He is gone. Look at him. That is fantastic.
Meantime, Titus Sherlock has opened up a gap of 8.5 seconds over Gray Falva and Michael Porter.
Yeah, that's a pretty unassailable lead right now, but is he pushing his tires too hard? Is he gapping it too much? maybe he just thinks to himself, I need every second I can advantage, because if Massimo makes his way through, which is a tall order, he is going to be coming for him and gunning for him. So
the wide world Ferrari driver Titus Sherlock, his best lap at 1:37.297. That's almost a clear second quicker than anybody else out there on track. I mean, yeah, he is going for it. But Massimo Perina is gunning as well, and he's got 22.5 minutes to try and move himself. I don't think he'll be able to get on terms with Titus Sherlock if it all stays like this. Is a podium out of the question? Absolutely not. Yep.
He's only 7 seconds off a podium, and he's running a second a lap off, half a second a lap faster than the guys in front. So let's just watch. A lot to play for right now.
So running in P2 then, the Ferrari of San Francisco driver Gray Falva in the 397 car, and Gray, dare I say it, a bit part campaigner in the Ferrari Challenge when time allows, and he did a very good job in qualifying today, and he's reinforced that job by doing very well in the race thus far. So good job being done by Gray Falva. Titus Sherlock, though, is 8.5 seconds, make that 8.6 seconds away from him. And Massimo Perina continuing to chase down. Now, Matt Dalton is right on the back of Enoch Hurd. Of course, he would like to get into Gerda Svenslovas, and I have to say he's got the inside line here.
Stick it in all the way around. Keep committing. That's very good stuff. Oh, he did that right. He let it just drift out. It was a bit of a Verstappen move there when you just unwind the wheel and just, I squeezed you against the wall. Sorry about that, but it worked perfectly for him. So that was a nice run there.
So right now in his target sights is going to be Gerda Svenslovas, and these two had a robust battle yesterday. I think
that's
it's fair to say.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yes.
So let's see if Matt Dalton is able to get onto Gerda Svenslovas, who's currently leading this race by about 3 seconds over Matt Dalton. So he's got quite some time to make up. Massimo Perina in his target sights is going to be Eric Pan next. He's about a couple of seconds, maybe 3 or 4 seconds actually down on Eric Pan. So Massimo Perina will now be putting in a series of quali laps, I would suggest, in terms of trying to get on the back of the Eric Pan car.
Yeah, I mean, he just went 0.8 quicker on that last lap. So he is hammer time, which is fun to watch for all of us. But the clock is always running out, and 20 minutes left to go, which is a fair amount of laps around here. So a lot of action in the first third of this race.
Wow. Yes.
You and I went into it saying, I wonder what this race is going to unfold. And, well, it was answered pretty quickly, right off the get-go.
Here then, driving the car of Jason McCarthy is Matt Dalton. And he's having to make his way through some traffic here in his quest to get on terms with Gerda Svenslovas, who is leading this race. I have to say, he is closing that gap. It's discernible on screen, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. No love lost from yesterday, so they will have been talked to by the officials. If you want to see what we're talking about, you can't hear it from us, but go online and you can watch it for yourself and make your own decision. But boy, they have a lot to be sporty about, these two, and but you know, they're gentlemen, they're racers. Let's see how this unfolds. It's all about making a very decisive overtake.
The gap between P1 and P2 has halved.
Ooh.
So Dalton is obviously finding a car to his liking. Now, bearing in mind, he is driving a car that is not his. You know, that's... Sometimes, you know, you get familiar and comfortable with your own car, don't you?
Oh, I made a joke, didn't I, after the last race, when our winner was in a borrowed car. It's professionals make a living out of driving and abusing other people's equipment. There's no sort of affection for it. It's just a blunt instrument of force we want to win in, and maybe there's a little play in that too. But you break it, you own it in this sort of sport. So you have to be pretty cautious about it.
Massimo Perina has really, really narrowed the gap down to Eric Pan as well. Massimo Perina and Gerda Svenslovas are the two drivers that are setting the fastest laps at the moment. Gerdas is having to respond, and he has responded, as you can see, because the gap this time into this turn is bigger than it was last time around.
Very much. Very experienced, know what they're doing, But I tell you what, I'm still looking at the back of that Massimo Perina. He is only 2 seconds off a podium now with one car between them. So this is all getting a little bit racy and very exciting to watch. Fastest lap, 36.2. Once again, a great display.
Yes. It's a question of when, not if, he will get by Eric Pan, I dare to say, because the pace that he is showing is extraordinary. That will put him into P4. Then the target will be Michael Porter.
Oh, come on, do not. He's pushing so hard. I tell you, he's all the way out kicking dirt. If you're watching this in the hospitality, you know that you're watching a young kid pushing as hard as he can.
Oh, you can't overtake there, Justin.
Well, he didn't get that memo, Dave. So he's overtaking where and how he wants. And every driver, every coach in this paddock, anyone that's raced for a length of time, knows the feeling this young man has right now. You're feeling motivated, you're aggravated, and you get your head down and you actually run faster than you have all weekend because you're a little aggravated.
Yes.
Is the nicest way to put it.
And actually sometimes you see drivers who are already outstanding, but when they feel they have been wronged, then they find something else. You know, they can go even better, and we are probably seeing some of the best driving we'll see from Massimo Perina right now because he's on the back foot.
Yeah, he really is, and he's right up there. He's less than a second behind Porter, so this is a very, very strong run.
And this then would give him at least a podium, which would be probably scant in comparison to where he would like to be.
But a podium, as you know, when you drop all the way back, is well, you take home a trophy, don't you?
Yes.
You know, and keep getting points. But this is an interesting battle. The gap is closing a little bit. Venceslovas is, well, I thought he's done a great job, not really yielding to the pressure of Dalton, but it's a sort of inevitability about that. The way you get attracted to the back of the car in front and you sort of reel yourself in. Although Gerdes just did the fastest lap of the race, 39.373, fraction faster than his competition, but that's all you need to do.
And of course, Gerdes Venceslovas is leading in Shell and in Pirelli. Just to give you some idea of the pace of Massimo Perina, Massimo Perina is a clear 3 seconds a lap quicker than the fastest lap in the Shell drivers.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And 7/10 faster than Titus Sherlock has racked up. But, of course, now you're getting into a traffic situation which could affect Titus more if he does pick up the back of the field than it will Massimo Perina, because he's just in a different state of mind. He's in a gloves off, let's go for it. I'm not caring about the risk, whereas Titus Sherlock is thinking, I want to consolidate this and make it a win for myself. So two different strategies going on, right? Two different mindsets. I know which one I'd rather be, but look at this. They are very close here right now.
So this is Massimo Perina making his way back from an unfortunate incident on the opening lap where he got turned around, and now you can see he's got traffic ahead of him, and he desperately wants to get past the 322 car of Michael Porter. That would guarantee him a podium. And Michael Porter and Massimo get past the backmarking Shell driver, and now Massimo Perina is on the inside of Michael Porter. As I said, it's a question of when, not if.
Yeah, I love the way he's flashing his lights, because in real life, you don't, there's no reason for Porter to yield to him.
No.
They're going for position, but it was sometimes you get a bit amped up, and it's also a nice distraction tool. You flash the lights, and the guy looks in his mirror, and you're like, got you. So look at him, he just immediately pulls out. Well, just to make it fun for everyone to watch, I mean, we'll see when they cross the timing scoring line, what is the gap to second place. Unfortunately, I think it's a little too far for the lead, but you never know. 13 minutes left to go.
Right, well, let's get that gap right now as Massimo Perina heads towards breaking that timing beam. 17.
He's got 6 seconds to go.
6 seconds to 6 seconds to second. It's 17 seconds behind Titus Sherlock. 13 and a quarter minutes.
He can do second. this is fun to watch. I hope everybody is enjoying this. It's always fun to have watching the pace of someone on the move, like stalking, like a panther in the wild, stalking the car in front. I love all this.
There, the 397 car of Gray Falva, who will be in the target sights of that stalker, as you suggested, the stalking being done by Massimo Perina. You can actually see them in the same shot now.
Yeah,
he's got his foot down, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Gray's probably going, is it over yet? I mean, we can call it anytime you want. But yeah, this is fun to watch. Really fun. And the lap times again, well, just so you know, Gertis Venslovas did his fastest lap, 38.6, which was he's gapped out again, almost 3 seconds on Dalton.
There's Roberto Perina watching on, and of course seeing how his nephew is coping with the adversity, which is part of motor racing, isn't it? You know, you've got to be able to pick yourself up, and I think he's done that in fine. Vettel, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, and I think his coach would have said, hey, listen, just when that incident happened at the beginning, reset, focus, you're fast enough, you've got a fast car, get back to the front. Yeah. Don't worry about the spilt milk. There's nothing you can do about it. So... but this right up at the front, I mean, the gap is closing 5 seconds now.
Now, the gap between Gertis Venslovas and Matthew Dalton in the Shell race is 2.88 seconds. Here's Massimo Perina then. He's got traffic to get by before he can get on terms, but the gap to...
Oh, yes, he has just dropped back down to 5th. All that work
I was just looking at the timing screen thinking, what on earth has happened here? This is what has happened.
He was pushing so hard, guys, that is a beautifully controlled sidewards slide all the way through there. Oh,
That is what has happened. I thought the timing screen had frozen.
I thought my eyes had gone weird. Unfortunately, that just undid all that great work. I'll give him commitment level, though. Commitment level 10 plus, because he went to get sideways coming through there. Beautiful controlled opposite lot slide. He should use that as his wallpaper on his computer, because that was really nice.
So now, with 10.5 minutes remaining, Massimo Perina finds himself once again behind Eric Pan.
Yeah, we've seen this movie.
And, right, is he going to do it going into turn 11? Not quite close enough, I don't think.
Eric's like, are you going to humiliate me for the second time in 5 laps? Do you really need to do that? Eric's having a great drive on his own. I mean, he's really enjoying it, but there's not a lot you can do about the onslaught of Massimo Perina right now. But we're joining right now. This is right up at the front there, isn't it? This is
now
Gertis right there.
Gertis is coming up against traffic.
Yeah.
Matt Dalton is trying to get closer. What is the gap between them?
1.5 seconds. That just even catching on the back of that car in front has cost him a second.
Right. Now the gap is just under a second.
Okay. Yeah, that is not what he wanted right now. But Dalton is all about it. Now let's watch this setup, Dave. I mean, they've both got to get this through this bit of traffic.
Now this could play into the hands of Matthew Dalton, couldn't it? Gertis Venslovas inside, outside. Which way is he going to go?
The door was shut on him. That was not what he wanted. Show some patience, Mr. Dalton. It could come your way. That's great.
Right. Now I think we are going to have a race on for the lead of the Shell race, because Matthew Dalton has got pace. Gertis Venslovas, these two had I think I described it as a robust battle yesterday.
Yeah.
Here we go again. This is the second race of the weekend. This is for the lead of the Ferrari Challenge 488 Shell race. Matthew Dalton and Gertis Venslovas, Continental Autosports up against Ferrari of Long Island. Where is this going to go?
Well, you know he's going to be wanting to set him up for the pass clean this time in there. A little bit of a different line. You can see him jink to the right before he went into the left there. That's just a different choice. Trying to you choose where you lift, basically, having an effect on how you approach. Gertis gapped him a little bit coming down in towards 11 here. But if you're in the hospitality, this is the fight that is so significant right now.
So Matt Dalton driving the Jason McCarthy car and is chasing down Gerda Svenslovas. Last time around, it was under a second, the gap between them. It was 9.26, and this time it's 0.740.
Yeah, it ebbs and flows like they're on a bungee out there, but every driver will talk about it. There's corners where I'm faster, where he's faster. We heard that from all the competitors yesterday, especially to make one lap time. There's many ways to do that. No one is equal in their execution of that. But these two certainly know what they're up against. They know each other's driving styles, let's put it like that.
I think Gerdas has responded a bit here, and he seems to be breaking away a little bit now. But and of course, when the cars are set up across the three sectors of any given track, it's always set up as a compromise to accommodate the driving style and a compromise to accommodate the differences between the sectors of the track as well. So while Gerdas may be stronger in one particular part of the circuit, perhaps Matt is stronger in another part of the circuit. But at the moment, I would suggest that Gerdas has got the measure of this.
He has extended a little bit of a comfort zone for himself. Of course, which is good for him, but we're also quite anticipating them getting close to each other again. Yes. But we have just under 7 minutes left to go, and sometimes you saw that Dalton was involved in, it was quite aggressive when they were overtaking that car. He might have put too much heat in his tires. Yeah. He'll back off for a lap or two. That's what I would do, and then I would go for a hard attack to really put the pressure on in the last 2 laps.
Well, 6.5 minutes remaining. I remind you that Titus Sherlock it is that's leading the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. Race ahead of Gray Falva and Michael Porter. They are the top 3. Titus has developed a margin of 13.8 seconds in the lead of the race. Now, for the Shell drivers, it's Gerda Svenslovas ahead of Matt Dalton and Enoch Hurd. And, of course, the big talking point has been Massimo Perina, who has disposed once again of Eric Pan, and now will be fancying his chances to get on terms with Michael Porter, who is but a couple of seconds up the road. There was a squeal of tyres there as someone got turn 11 very wrong, I would suggest.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Massimo, he's having to redo it all over again, but he
could still get a podium.
That is what he has to go for. Another fastest lap by Titus Sherlock. That's a great indication of his pace. He's not settling down at all, even with that lead. And I said it on yesterday's broadcast, sometimes as a driver it's just easy to keep going fast. They're not really having to manage tires like you would if they had a slightly longer race. And he's obviously able to drive well within himself. So there's a good indication. Great time to establish a fast lap and maybe get that extra point.
And what's really interesting is that fastest lap coming along, look, with just less than 5 minutes of the race remaining. So, he's been super smooth, hasn't he? Now, this is Massimo Perina on Michael Porter then. This would be for a podium. I mean, it would be a rich reward, would it not, for Massimo to take a podium? I don't want to take anything away from Porter. He doesn't deserve anything to be taken away from him, but he's going to have to defend like never before, I would suggest.
Yeah, as they come around here. I mean, it's just both of them pushing extraordinarily fast, extraordinarily hard, coming up into this complex at the end. Interesting to see where each of them are faster than the other, but right now Massimo has the upper hand. He's about 6-7 tenths quicker over the last lap, and but not wanting to make another mistake. There's no time to recover from another mistake right now for Perina. So he is very close to the cars in front. So let's just see how he gets on. But it is a podium.
Yes.
And a trophy is an awful lot nicer than no trophy.
So into this turn they go then. Sort of double apex here, isn't it, really? And
I mean, Gerdas Svenslovas is good out of that top corner, which gives him just enough of a gap coming down through these fast corners into turn 11. So it's sometimes you just need to be fast in the right place, and he is fast in the right place. You'll see Dalton really catch him up under braking here, but it's all that'll never translate to a pass at the moment. He's got to make sure he's up his chuff, coming all the way down there, and then pull that move.
Yes. Well, he's running out of time to do so because we've got 3 minutes, as near as makes no difference, left on the clock for this race. Now, last time around, Matt Dalton was quicker by 7/100ths.
Yeah.
That's not a big enough margin, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. But, you know, to go for that win, I totally get why you'd throw in a move, last-minute move, but he's got to get much closer than that. And this is the half of the circuit where Venslovas is quicker.
Yeah.
The first third of the circuit is actually Dalton is quicker. So that's not the place you can overtake those. So he's got to adjust what he's doing and really give it a shot. But and the gap has just opened up again, just over a second.
Meantime, elsewhere, plenty going on in this 488 Challenge race. Massimo Perina continuing to get closer to Michael Porter. I think the gap is down to it's down to tenths now, so it's measurable in tenths with 2 minutes remaining. But we watch this, of course, Logan Broughton having returned to the race. The order on the left-hand side of your screen, Titus Sherlock leading from Gray Falver and Michael Porter, although Massimo Perina is coming calling. Gray Falver having done a very, very good job in qualifying, and he was able to keep his cool while all about him were losing theirs right at the start of the race, and was able to take advantage.
Yeah, Gray should be very happy. We had a good chat with him yesterday, didn't we? And he doesn't even have a road car, just so you know. He takes Ubers in DC. He just takes the train and Ubers. So must feel. What do you do? What do you drive? I only have a Ferrari.
That was a small mistake there, I think, from Gerdas, who just ran a bit wide. Titus, rather, just ran a bit wide. I suspect that the tyres are beginning now, because he's done such a good job. I mean, he's got a gap of 15 seconds over Gray Falver.
Yeah, I mean, he can lose a second in each corner and still win this race.
Yes.
So, no need to push. White flag flies as they go by, and he starts his last lap, making his way up into the action event incident-filled first series of corners, which of course has helped him get into this position, but he's certainly capitalized on it.
Massimo is going to have one more lap, isn't he?
Yeah, this is going to be great.
Michael Porter will be sticking his elbows out of that 488 car.
I know. He really is going to be. Oh! And that was Gerdas.
That's Gerdas.
Oh.
Let's get a replay of that. Gerdas Venslovas, then, who had led this race, and I don't think that Matt Dalton was close enough to have had anything to do with that, other than perhaps the pressure.
Yeah, that's.
Let's take a look here. So there is Gerdas.
There he is. He just carried too much speed in, and that is super unfortunate. Almost collected Dalton on the way by. What a pity. Thank you very much in production for picking that replay up with such a tight final lap to go. That is very frustrating, but I mean, what a win this will be then for Dalton. Well, that is great. They must be coming very close now. Here is our race leader.
Yes,
Dave.
Titus Sherlock then. 15 seconds to the good on Gray Falver, as Titus then, he was decisive right at the start of the race where he needed to be, and he is victorious as that checkered flag comes down, and Titus Sherlock stops the non-stop railroading of Massimo Perina, who's had one win after the other, and I'm not sure that Massimo's even going to get a podium out of this, as Eric Pan tries to get close now. Titus Sherlock wins from Gray Falver P2, and then a drag race to the line here, and I think it's going to be Porter that takes the P3 position. Sterling effort from Massimo Perina to come back and try, but he was just denied a podium. Now for our Shell drivers, Matthew Dalton was, well, am I going to say gifted this?
No, he worked for it. It just came his way in the end bit. He was all over his mirrors, a mistake was made, and the win is in his pocket. But it wouldn't have happened. I mean, it probably wasn't going to happen otherwise because there was no love lost between them on track.
Matthew Dalton takes it. He sees the checkered flag, and he is our Shell winner. I tell you what, Gerda Svenslova's got that car turned around pretty quickly as well to take P2, and it's going to be Enoch Hurd that will take P3. Well,
What, Dave?
need a bit of a lie down now.
No, I know. It's that was full of action. I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as we did. That was pretty spectacular. Of course, depending which team you're rooting for, there was a lot of disappointment. But with Titus Sherlock winning there with a huge margin, one of the biggest margins of the weekend that we have seen, that was a dominant display. It all set up really well at the beginning of the race. We were talking about the competition between these two young drivers, and could he, after that stunning qualifying lap, to which Massimo responded to, could he take the competition to Perina? And he didn't have to. It was all his own way. But with Matthew Dalton winning, that's what a really eventful race 2, and the one to round off our weekend. Just fantastic day.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And well done to all the drivers for delivering such great entertainment for us, and some breathtaking moments, I think it's fair to say. And yes, amazing stuff from our drivers across both Shell and the Pirelli drivers in the 488 challenge.
Yeah, it looked like Massimo didn't know that there is an option. You don't always go to the podium with your car. I mean, his car was an autopilot heading, I think. He was told, no, this week you got to head out there. So he'll be back, though. Don't worry. He will. It's not the last you've seen of that young lad.
No.
And he drove really, really well.
He did, and there again, what he did when things were against him, he picked himself up and he delivered. Titus Sherlock takes the win, though, from Gray Falva and Michael Porter. Massimo Perina banking P4, Eric Pan P5. Now for our Shell drivers, it was Matthew Dalton ahead of Gerda Svenslovas and Enoch Hurd. They are P1, 2 and 3, but P6, 7 and 8 in the race overall. Ahead of Henry Hummel, good result, Henry, Brad Evans, Dan Magnuszewski, Stephen Chen, Logan Broughton, Kevin Orsini, and Michael Merrithew. They occupy the positions through to 15, ahead of Jeffrey Keel. Non-starts for Ed Vortigyan, Jason McCarthy, and Jesus Mendoza. So there we have it then. Titus, what a drive. Titus Sherlock did it all at the start of the race. Let's hear from him. He's with Amanda right now.
Oh, and there was just a massive hug from Anthony DiCarlo and Titus. I really want to go back, even starting at qualifying, you kind of showing what you're capable of, and then you go to the start of this race and just an excellent start out of your effort. You break a streak in Massimo Perina that your competitors have been trying to do all season. How did you show up and make such an impact so quick?
I have to give huge credit to the team. We started off on a rough foot with the setup, but we worked on it the whole time. We eventually got there. Thank you to Stefan for helping me improve my driving, and thank you to my uncle for giving me this opportunity. And that was the goal, to come out here and win. I wasn't going to accept anything less, so I'm happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a presence of mind. I wasn't going to accept anything less, Justin.
I know. Didn't always work for me. I had the plan in mind. But what great. Who would have thought to the outsider you'd have all these young drivers so fast in this series? What a great breeding ground for talent. And let's keep an eye on both those guys moving forward.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And that is, that's one of the great things about the Ferrari challenges. Justin, you see so many young, talented drivers now using this as a springboard to success.
Yeah, really, really good. It's the energy down there in the holding pen for winner's circle must be electric. And with those cars, look at them, so beautiful. And the last time we'll be seeing them here at this beautiful track, correct?
Yes. Of course, they have one to do, and that will be at Indianapolis. But yes, you're right. For Sonoma, last time we will be seeing them. They've been such a workhorse. Matt Dalton, then he takes the victory in the Shell drivers. Let's hear from him. He's with Amanda.
You know, Dave, you really got to give up to Gertis and Matt Dalton on just the clean race that they had here today. Gertis being able to get the runner-up spot. We will see this championship come down to the last race for this 488. And Matt, man, what a weekend for you. The sentences, the highs and lows of being a racing driver. How complete was that this weekend?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, I said to the guys when we crossed the finish, I
Pat
said,
Gallagher, it's your coach. That's your real
Patrick,
coach. Yeah.
I said, you know, yesterday was the Arion Trench. Today we're on top of Mount Everest. So, but Ryan's coaching was unbelievable. He just kept whipping me and said, keep the pressure on him. He's going to make a mistake, and he did. So I can't tell you how thrilled I am to go into Indy with a little bit of a lead.
Any words for Jason McCarthy?
Oh, I don't know how to repay the guy. I mean, he bailed me out by allowing me to take his rocket ship out. And honestly, I'm just glad I didn't put any damage on the car. But yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you, 111.
Well, as Matt said, you know, guys, iron strengthens iron. The rivalry between these two drivers, we'll see it in Indy.
We will indeed. From Amanda Busick, from Justin Bell, and from myself, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in Indianapolis. Bye-bye for now.